Today on the Trent Out Loud Podcast. If he's saying that Kendrick is the king by far, and you were talking about bars, rap, and hip hop, does that make Kendrick the king by far? If you said that Drake has the best diss track talking about bars on his track, that's what really doesn't make sense to me. So, what up? It's your boy Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, y'all know what time it is. It's my favorite day of the week. It's Friday. It's Friday. Yeah, yo, I wait every day to do that countdown, man. And that's what time it is. It's time for me to deliver you this podcast so my weekend can get started, man. All right, let me jump into it. As usual, as all my Friday shows, well, most of my Friday shows, I like to keep it quick, sweet, keep it light. If you're listening to this on CFQR600.com, we play more music and less talk on Fridays to get you in the mood and get you ready for the weekend, all right? So I got one lead story for you. We're going to talk about Charlamagne and him crowning Kendrick Lamar the king of hip hop. I got a lot to say about that. Then we're going to jump into quick news. Travis Scott has been arrested and Kylie Jenner cries over social media comments. Then we're going to jump into speed news. We're going to talk about Kendrick Lamar and Jadakiss, comparing that to Vezus. Then we're going to talk about Kanye West and his wife and Drake posting on Instagram. Then we got question of the day, sports news, and then we're going to close out with sports news. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, your radios, or your devices up. I'm about to start this show. Let's go. Charlamagne the God deems Kendrick Lamar the king of hip hop after his pop-out show in LA. And Charlamagne said, I'm not talking about pop songs, singing on songs. I'm talking about bars, rap, hip hop culture. All right. So I just read to you most of his quote, but before I get into what I have to say about it, I want you to hear it directly from Charlamagne's mouth. So here's a clip of Charlamagne on The Breakfast Club yesterday morning.
To me, the show wasn't about Drake as much as it was about Kendrick Lamar becoming the undisputed heavyweight champion of hip-hop. And I'm not talking about charts. I'm not talking about streaming records. I'm not talking about pop songs. I'm talking about bars, rap, hip-hop, culture. Kendrick wears that crown, and it's not even close.
Okay, so a couple of things. He said that the concert yesterday wasn't so much about Drake. It was about Kendrick becoming the king of hip-hop. I totally disagree with that. Yesterday's concert was really about Kendrick uniting LA. That's what the show was about. You know what I mean? That's why those people were there on stage. And it was about a lot of other things too, but the most important part of it to Kendrick, and I think that that's the focus, the most important part to Kendrick was him uniting LA and having these different gang members that would have been normally not standing beside each other, united. That is what yesterday was about. That's why it was such a big LA movement. And that's why you see people like LeBron James there, etc. Some people that you feel shouldn't have been there. It was a moment for LA. So that's one thing. Second thing, let's get on to the bigger point of Kendrick Lamar being the king of hip hop. Now, again, I don't like yesterday's show. I don't want to get into who won the beef. We talked about that at length. Podcast after podcast after podcast. We all know I'm biased. We all know I'm Canadian. We all know Drake is one of my favorite rappers. So we're not going to get into that. But what I want to get into and dissect is Charlamagne's comment of him saying that Kendrick is the new king of hip hop. And I don't have a problem necessarily with that statement because that's his opinion. But then what I have a problem with, or not have a problem with, but more what I want to talk about is what he deems hip hop. And he said, I'm not talking about streams. Let me just bring it up. He said, I'm not talking about streams. I'm not talking about pop songs. I'm not talking about singing on songs. He's talking about bars, rap, and hip hop culture. Now, Charlamagne was the same person that said Family Matters was the better diss track of all the diss tracks. Charlamagne said Family Matters was the best diss track, and he said that Kendrick had the best pop song, and he won on strategy. So if he's saying that Kendrick is the king by far, and you were talking about bars, rap, and hip hop, but Drake has the better bars in the battle, again, not talking about winning, but does that make Kendrick the king by far? If you said that Drake has the best diss track talking about bars on his track, that's what really doesn't make sense to me. So I think if Charlamagne would ever hear this and get remembered and be remembered for what he said about family matters, I think that he would take that back. Now, second thing is, and Charlamagne could, and anybody out there could have a matter of their own opinion, but what I don't like is moving the goalpost. Like, why, when we're talking about the king of hip hop or the king of rap or the greatest of all times or your top five, like, why do we want to take certain things out? Like, why do the charts not matter? And why do album sales not matter? And why does, singing not matter? Like, why, like, somebody at some point has to get together and say, okay, like almost like sports, like, these are the statistics that matter and count, And I'm not saying what they should be or not, because I understand the idea behind not counting album charts. I get that. I understand not counting spins. I understand not counting number ones. I don't agree with it, but I understand. But it's not fair, because if an artist, for example, Jay-Z, who he has been very open and honest with saying, truthfully, his lyric, I'm paraphrasing. He said, truthfully, I wanted to rhyme like common sense, but I sold 5 mil, so I could never have rhymed like common sense. Or Talib Kweli, right? Where it's like, Jay-Z is like, I really would want to have been that type of rapper that stays just rapping. But I wanted to have a bigger career. I wanted to have number ones. I wanted to sell a lot of albums, right? So it's like, if you're trying to sit down here and tell me your opinion of Drake, if you're trying to tell me that Drake cannot rap and he doesn't have bars, then you're just lying to yourself. Love him or hate him, Drake has bars. But Drake has made it a point since the beginning of his career that he wants to be like the Michael Jackson of music. Right? He's always been that way. That's why he has those melodies, and that's why he sings, and that's why he does different genres of music. So I just don't find it fair for you to say, Drake has bars, but no, we have to just go bar for bar. We cannot count the fact that he's, far exceeded album sales, and he's far exceeded Billboard charts, and he's far exceeded all of these things. Like, there's nobody even close to him in hip hop when it comes to those kind of numbers. Why does that not count? This is my question to y'all. Like, why does that not count? Why, when certain people are talking about hip hop, it's like, no, we can't talk about numbers. No, like, hip hop is a business, right? Like, I understand it is a culture, but it is a culture that has turned into a business. So I just don't like when some people move the goalposts. And if you want to talk about the king of hip hop, you want to talk about the king of rap, you have to include album sales. You have to include charts, because that's what we're making these songs for. It's a business. And I don't think an artist should be faulted for that. And I think it has to be, if you want to say it's not as recognized as the bar, fine, but you can't be like, we want to talk about the king of hip hop, and we want to take away everything. We want to take away the money. We want to take away the spins. We want to take away everything, and let's just talk bar for bar. And then even when you want to do that, you want to forget that Family Matters was the best bar for bar diss track of all the, I think, 10 or 12 diss tracks, right? So y'all are moving the goalposts for Drake. That's all I'm saying. What's another thing that I wanted to talk about quickly? Just wanted to say something about Drake's catalog when we're talking about like catalogs and numbers and sales and streams. It was a Joe Budden podcast, and can't forget the guy, can't forget the guy. Anyways, the guy who's the CEO of Gamma Music, he was at Apple. Can't remember his name right now. My bad. Sorry. Anyways, he was on. He's in charge of music at Apple. He was, and then now he owns Gamma Music, which is under Universal. Okay, he's like top 5 guys in the music industry. He was saying to Joe Budden how big Drake's catalog is. If you take catalogs from the 60s, 70s, and 80s of every single artist, just take music catalog, Drake's catalog is bigger than every music artist combines catalog for 30 years. That's how big Drake is. And you want to take that stat and be like, sorry, man, we can't count that stat when we're talking about the king of hip hop. Sorry. Your catalog, your musical catalog is larger than 30 years of every music genre combined. But no, we can't look at that, bruh. Stop it. If Kendrick had half that, if another rapper had half that, you guys would be on their jock nonstop. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. It's great that this is a Friday and, Kendrick had his moment and whatever. And I'm sure people are still going to talk about it over the weekend. I hope we could move past this. Monday, we could start a fresh week. It's the summertime. I know we're still going to hear Not Like Us, but let's put this beef to bed. Let's put this, behind us. Kendrick had his victory lap and, just get back to music. You know what I mean? I'm very interested to see Kendrick's next move. I want to see Kendrick's next album. He made a great track, Not Like Us. Probably going to be the song of the year. Probably might even win some Grammys for sure. I want to see Kendrick's album and I want to see Drake's next album. That's what I want to see. That's what's going to tell me. And I talked about yesterday, like, I don't even know what Drake's next move could be. I don't even know. And I'm a big Drake fan. Like, he has no friends in the industry. He's not going to be coming out on any features. Like, it's going to be very, very hard for him. But to me, that's what's going to really cement their legacies is, like I said, regardless of who you think won or lost, it's going to be who does what over the next year and a half. How's Kendrick going to move after this? Is Kendrick going to go back in hiding like he normally does? He puts out an album that we don't see him for 2, 3, 4 years. Is he going to go back or is he going to jump on this wave now? Like, wow, everybody wants me at their concerts. Everybody wants me on their features. Is he going to take that? What's Drake going to do? Is Drake going to maybe be like how Kendrick was, where he's just going to come in and pop out once every, 3, 4 years? Let's see. Let's see what's going to happen. But I'm excited to just move on from this and see what they're both going to do. You guys let me know of everything I just said. I'm sure you guys have a lot to say. Let me know in the comment section below. Send me an email, cfqr600, Trent Out Loud at cfqr600.com, or send me a DM at any of my social handles at Trent Out Loud. All right, this brings us to quick news. Ring my bell. Kylie Jenner becomes emotional as she talks about the criticism she receives about her looks. She said, "Before I even got lip fillers, people talked about my looks." So during the latest episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, I think it's called now just The Kardashians reality show. I don't watch. I don't know. Anyways, Kylie was overcome with emotion as she opened up to her sister Kendall about the negative comments she sees about her looks. So I have a little clip. Take a listen.
Even if I did get so much surgery and I have this and I got all these things, I still don't think it's okay to talk about someone's looks. I agree.
So, what do I say about this? I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way, but if you're a public figure, you're on Instagram, you're a celebrity, you're an influencer, you put yourself out there in the public, people are going to say stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you have to know that. Like, that's part of the job. Like, that's what comes with it. You wear an outfit that people find weird, they're going to talk about your outfit. Like, the fact that people are talking about your looks is why you make money. You know what I mean? Like, if you're willing to be a public figure and be scrutinized, whether it be a podcast, whether it be on the radio, whether it be an influencer, you're going to get dragged for your opinion. I've been dragged many a times for my opinion. That's more like when you're on radio or a podcast, whatever, when you're more talking about your opinion. When you're an influencer, like how the Kardashians are, you get paid. Your company, you have a makeup line. You're a billionaire off a makeup line. Kim Kardashian has Skims. Like, you guys are supposed to be the trendsetters of fashion, right? The pulse of the generation of fashion. of course they're going to talk about your looks. It's your job. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to talk about what you're doing. So the human side of me, like, I feel bad for her. I know how it feels. Somebody says, oh, why does he look like this? How you look like that? Why is she changing her face? Why she has plastic surgery? Whatever. I know it can be annoying, and that's the human side of me. But at the end of the day, you're not getting trashed and you're broke on welfare. You're a friggin' billionaire with a private jet. And I'm not saying that money is going to make you happy. I've said this a million times. Money's not going to do anything. But money still is a system to let you know of how much success you've had. And the success you have and the influence you have comes at a price. There's nothing with what was the saying go? Nothing without great reward comes without great sacrifice, or something like that. You know what I mean? So I just feel like she could deal with this a lot better, because she should know that this is coming. You know what I mean? So to break down and cry after all these years, I find it a little hard to feel sorry for her. That's all I'm trying to say. All right, this brings us to our second quick story. Travis Scott arrested in Miami-Dade County for disorderly intoxication. I've never even heard that before. Disorderly intoxication. Travis Scott found himself in trouble with the law earlier Thursday after he was arrested for disorderly intoxication. According to NBC News, Travis was booked into Turner Something Night Correctional Center around 4:30 a.m. Thursday after authorities arrested him for disorderly intoxication as well as trespassing on property after a warning. The news outlet notes that records show he submitted a $650 bond and is expected to be released. Wow, Travis Scott, $650. My gosh, that's like chump change to him. Anyways, I don't know what the disorderly intoxication is. If you look at his eyes, I feel like there's some weed in there. There could be a little bit of Molly, some Percocets. I don't know what's going on. This guy looks high as hell, bro. Anyway, yeah. So this is really nothing. It doesn't say like he was driving or doing anything. So I guess he was just on like trespassing on like some private property. And the fact that his bond is $650 shows me that this is really nothing to even be concerned about. All right, this brings us to speed news. Ring my bell. Was Kendrick Lamar bringing the same energy as Jadakiss during his concert last night? All right, so a lot of people are talking online about Kendrick's show last night versus the Locks and Dipset, the Vezus battle. If you guys remember Vezus battle during COVID on Instagram, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of people are saying like opposite coast, same energy. Somebody wrote, this was the biggest night in hip hop since Jadakiss led New York, New York on Vezus. So while I agree that it was like Jadakiss totally killed that, the Locks totally killed Dipset. Did I say that before? Did I say it was Dipset, the Locks? I hope I didn't mess that up. Anyways, while that was huge, one of the best verses, the best hip hop verses, I really don't think it's comparable to Kendrick's show last night. Sorry, not last night, Wednesday night. Because for the simple fact that we're talking about one of hip hop's biggest battles of all time, definitely the biggest battle of this generation. Then you're talking about a sold out concert on Juneteenth with everybody from LA like coming on stage. Like I don't think it's comparable. Like Jada had a big night, but it wasn't on this level. I mean, this is a global #1 smash hit, the first time ever performed live. The concert was really about this song. He performed a song 5 times, 6 times, and it was hype every single time. Like shout out to Kiss, but that was not comparable, man. Kendrick Lamar's pop-out concert far exceeded Jadakiss on Vezus. Just my opinion. Shout out to Kendrick. All right, this brings us to our second speed story. Kanye West and his wife Bianca popped out to the Prototypes men's fashion show during Paris Fashion Week. So there's not much more to the story other than that Kanye and Bianca look fully crazy. For those of you who are not watching this on Shopify or YouTube and cannot see the picture that is up beside me, I will describe it to you. Bianca is barefoot. Is she barefoot? Let me just zoom in. She has like some stocking shoes on. Looks like the female version of Kanye's sock shoe. Of course, she has no pants on because she never wears pants. And so she's wearing a see-through bodysuit, and you could see her areolas, nipples, whatever you want to call them. And yeah, so she's naked, pretty much. We could see everything. Kanye West looks like, some people said in the comment, it looks like he's fencing. You know that sport there with the little sword thing? All white hoodie, white face covering, white gloves, white shoes. You wouldn't even know it was Kanye West in there. We're just assuming that it was Kanye West. Kanye West could probably be in another country, and Bianca's just walking out this person that looks like Kanye. Who knows? He looks crazy. I understand it's Paris Fashion Week. I understand Kanye likes to be a little wild, but it's getting a little crazy, and I don't understand why Bianca is always naked and just she never has any shoes on. It's just starting to get a little bit weird now, guys. It's just, I'm just saying. And I've been to Paris Fashion Week when I had the store. I went there like a good couple of times. Like, people don't walk around at Paris Fashion Week like this. Like, you're just, stop it. All right, this brings us to our third and final speed story. My boy Drizzy Drake. Drake posted a picture in his stories last night. I should have talked about this on yesterday's podcast, but I missed it. But Drake posted a picture in his stories, pretty much responding to Kendrick, because everybody was like, oh, what's Drake going to do? Drake posted a picture in a baseball jersey, a Cleveland baseball jersey, yellow, crazy baggy pants, and some like platform kind of shoes. And he's just like in his house, like taking a selfie. What did I say on yesterday's show? I begged and pleaded. I was like, Drake, please don't post anything on Instagram. Please don't post anything in your stories. Just let Kendrick have his moment. Like, don't do anything, bro. And of course, Drake had to and people are tearing him up. Like, Drake don't have to listen to me, but it's just, bro, you need to be strategizing. You need to be thinking about your career. You need to be thinking about your album. Like, this is no time to be posting selfies. Like, I understand that you want to come off like you're unbothered. Like, that's what this picture is saying. Like, yeah, I know you guys are talking about Kendrick. I know you guys are all watching on Amazon Prime right now, but yo, I'm at home in my $100 million house with my catalog that's bigger than 30 years of music put all together. Drake, I know all your accolades, and I love you, man. You're one of my favorite artists ever of all times. But you're not even convincing me that you're unbothered. Like, we know you're bothered, bro. We know that you got to be a little bit worried because you're a human being, and it's okay. So please don't post anymore stupid-ish on Instagram. Bro, just get back to the music. That is what you do. You are a master. That's what you specialize in. That's what you do. That's what got you here. Don't let them sway you into thinking that you need to show them. Tell them, get back to the music. Give us great music. Give us those number ones. I want you to like have Billboard from 1 to 10 and own the Billboard charts. Like, just get back to Drake. These fashion choices and bro, just get back to the music. Please. All right, this brings us to question of the day. All right, so question of the day is, it is the first day of summer. It's officially the first day of summer. I'm not too sure, though, because I saw this post yesterday on the 20th of June, and today's the 21st. I'm not too sure which is the first day of June, so don't hold me to it if it's not. But the point is that summer is here. Whether it was yesterday or today, this is our first official weekend of the summer. So not the weekend, but what are your plans for the summer? All right, let's get to the comment section. People said, somebody said, working on my body for summer 2025. That's actually really funny. Somebody said, staying alive. Okay. Lovely Sparks said, Satan already dragged okay, no, cannot say that. Somebody said staying hydrated and minding my business that pays me. Okay, I love that. Somebody said staying in the house, getting my money's worth for paying rent that's due again in 2 weeks. That's funny. Somebody put up a GIF of Rihanna that said work, 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 work. Okay. Naya82 said finding a damn pool. It's been hot this week in Montreal. So yeah, 100% finding a pool. Bone _ tilapia, I think, said staying in the house till after 8 p.m. First day of summer, and it's been 400 degrees for the past 3 months. I feel you. Somebody said first day, it's been hotter than hell for a month. So I guess it's been hot everywhere I was going to say everywhere in the world, but North America, because I know there's a lot of Americans on this site. Somebody said get through summer so I can get to fall. Somebody said I'm getting high all day. Somebody said work because these bills ain't going to pay themselves. Mika917 said, I dislike the summer months. I don't like the heat. They stay avoiding wearing dark colors. Baby, I'm dark. Now what? Huh? I don't know. But how does somebody not like the heat? I don't understand people that don't like the heat. I understand humidity. I get it. Like up here in Montreal, Toronto, Canada is very, very hot. More places in the south and like in the Caribbean islands, it's a more dry heat. Like Jamaica, it's hot for sure, but it's a dry heat. But how could you not like heat? I don't get it, man. Somebody said stacking and traveling. Okay, that's the first person I heard saying they're traveling. Geez, but maybe because it's too expensive to travel nowadays. Somebody said working out, staying fit. _Shemer said staying cool in my house. Somebody said I immediately started dancing. That was me too. I was like, oh yeah, summer is here. Somebody said tomorrow was the first day of summer. See, they posted this on the 20th, and it's actually today's the first day of summer. Thank you. Somebody said get even more hotter. We staying inside till the sun goes down. All right, people mostly talking about the heat. All right, I thought these comments would be a little bit more fun, but nothing really that crazy. It looks like somebody said getting drunk. Money. Staying sucker free, getting rich. Somebody said filing for bankruptcy. Hey, somebody said fun-ish trips, activities, and concerts. There you go. That's what I was looking for. I don't have any big plans for the summer. I don't really necessarily like to go away in the summer. I more prefer to go away in the wintertime because it's always snowing like crazy up here in Montreal. So when my pool and everything is open here in Montreal, why do I want to go away when I have when I have already what I need? Why would I go to a resort that has another pool? I know the ocean, but still, you know what I mean? Anyways, I'm not going from hot to hot. So that's me. Anyway, so I think my plans though, not that I think this for sure, I really want to use this summer to do things. Like I want to do activities. I want to like go out in the daytime. I told you guys last time, like I went out for the first time in last Saturday during the day, and I had a great time being out. So I want to try to use the days in the summer more, even during the week. You know what I mean? Like just use the summer, like be outside, try to have breakfast outside instead of sitting inside, have lunch outside. I want to watch TV outside. I just want to be outside and just enjoy the weather instead of staying in my house. And I want to like go out to have little like, just little restaurants. It doesn't have to be big, crazy restaurant, but like little lunches, little things, like I want to just do little activities and fun, cool things and just really try to enjoy my summer, enjoy my friends, enjoy my family, my nieces and nephews, and just try to like, just embrace the warm weather and be outside, even going for walks, even if it's by myself. I want to try to be outside more this summer is what I'm trying to get to. So y'all let me know in the comment section below or send me an email or a DM any of my social handles and let me know what you are going to be up to this summer. Maybe you could give me some ideas. All right. I was about to wrap up the show, but I forgot we actually do have sports news. So I'll go to that segment next. All right. This brings us to sports news. So Redick has agreed to a 4-year contract to become the next coach for the Los Angeles Lakers. Rob Pelinka offered the job yesterday morning, and Redick started working on a staff to surround himself with experience. So people are kind of a little bit on the fence about this whole JJ Redick thing. I don't know that much about JJ Redick, to just be 100% transparent. I know that he has a podcast with LeBron James. I know apparently he has a great basketball mind. People are saying that he's like a savant, like how LeBron is. That's why LeBron chose him to be on the podcast. People are also saying that LeBron kind of spearheaded this, where it's like, oh, let me put him on a podcast with myself. People will hear and see how great of a basketball mind he is, and it's going to be easier to make him the head coach. I heard that on First Take. Whatever it is that's going on, he got the job. My only thing is that I understand he was a player and et cetera. He has a lot of experience and LeBron loves him. I just think the position that LA is in right now, especially being in the West Coast, I would have thought that LA would have been better off with a more experienced head coach. I think JJ Redick could probably, like I said, I don't know. So I'm really just speculating on the fact that he's a first-time head coach. I think a first-time head coach could do some stuff in the regular season, maybe even in like the play-in. But when you get into the playoffs and when you get to the finals, even players, I tell people all the time, like, it's a whole new league. It's a whole new dimension, and it requires experience. And you saw that just in these past finals here, where Luka is his first time in the finals. You saw how he played. Yes, Kyrie has been to the finals and he is a champion, but it's not like he's been there recently. And that was, I think, the edge that Boston had, is they were in the Eastern Conference Finals and then lost, and they went to the finals and lost. That gives you that experience and that traction. And I just think that JJ Redick, like, I just don't see a first-time head coach, like having the knowledge of how to coach a team and especially in such a big, in a big arena and a big team like Los Angeles Lakers. I don't see how he could pull that off in 4 years and bring them a championship. And that's where the Lakers are at. It's not like a normal rinky-dink team. You know what I mean? You're talking about one of the most storied franchise in all of sports, period, and definitely the most storied or second biggest storied in basketball. If you think Boston might be the first, because of course now they have 18 championships over Lakers 17. But anyways, I just think that he's biting off a little bit more than he could chew, and I just don't think they'll be able to pull off a championship in 4 years. But it's okay, because I don't want LeBron to get any more rings, so I'm okay with this from a personal standpoint. Anyways, all right, that's my take on JJ Redick. That's sports news, and that, my friends, wraps up this week. I'm very excited for the weekend. Oh, by the way, it is a long weekend in Quebec. We are celebrating Saint Jean Baptiste, so there will be no Monday show. It is a long weekend, and next weekend too is going to be Canada Day, so I have 2 back-to-back long weekends. Yo, let's go! All right, man. Before I go. Why did I say before I go like that? Before I go, a little bit of housekeeping. For those of you who are watching this on YouTube or podcast platforms, I do want to try to remind you to try to check out this podcast on CFQR600.com from Monday to Friday from 11 to 12. You could just go on CFQR600.com or 600 AM if you're in the Montreal area, and listen to this podcast. We do play this podcast, but we mix it in with 90s and 2000s hip-hop and R&B. It's a great way to listen to the podcast and break up your morning to afternoon. Vice versa, if you're used to listening to this on the radio or CFQR600.com and you can't always catch the Trent Out Loud podcast from 11 to 12 weekdays, we understand you're busy, you got things to do. You could always catch the show on YouTube and podcast platforms. You never have to miss a show. It's there on demand. Just go to your desired platform, type in Trent Out Loud. The show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow or subscribe button so you will be notified every time we upload an episode. And just want to remind you that Spotify now has video so that you could watch. If you want to watch video, you can watch it on YouTube and on Spotify. It's actually better to watch the video on Spotify because you can, if you're on your phone, you can close your app and do whatever you want to do. On YouTube, you have to keep it open. So that's it. Thanks a lot again for kicking it with me this week. I appreciate it. I hope you like the shows, and I will see you Tuesday morning. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace!